Welcome to the appendix. Today's primary resource is Privileges and Prerogatives Granted to Columbus, April 30th, 1492. For years, Columbus had been presenting his scheme of sailing westward to the Indies to the sovereigns of Spain, Portugal, France, and England, but without success. Finally, in January 1492, the Spanish forces captured Granada and drove the Moors out of Spain, and Ferdinand and Isabella were free to consider seriously the proposals of Columbus. At first, these terms were considered exorbitant, and negotiations were broken off. Columbus was actually on his way back to France when he was summoned to the court and the following terms accepted by Ferdinand and Isabella as King and Queen of Castile. The literature on Columbus is extensive. Ferdinand and Elizabeth. For as much as you, Christopher Columbus, are going by our command with some of our vessels and men to discover and subdue some islands and continent in the ocean, and it is hoped that by God's assistance some of the said islands and continents in the ocean will be discovered and conquered by your means and conduct. Therefore it is just and reasonable that since you expose yourself to such danger to serve us, you should be rewarded for it. And we being willing to honor and favor you for the reasons aforesaid, our will is that you, Christopher Columbus, after discovering and conquering the said islands and continent in the said ocean, or any of them, shall be our admiral, and the said islands and continents you shall discover and conquer, and that you be our admiral, viceroy, and governor in them, and that for the future you may call and style yourself D. Christopher Columbus, and that your sons and successors in the said employment may call themselves dons, admirals, viceroys, and governors of them, and that you may exercise the office of admiral with the charge of viceroy and governor of the said islands and continent, which you and your lieutenants shall conquer, and freely decide all causes, civil and criminal, appertaining to the said employment of admiral, viceroy, and governor, as you shall think fit in justice, and as the admirals of our kingdoms used to do, and that you have power to punish offenders, and you and your lieutenants exercise the employments of admiral, viceroy, and governor in all things belonging to the said offices, or any of them, and that you enjoy the prerequisites and salaries belonging to the said employments, and to each of them in the same manner as the High Admiral of our kingdom does. And by this our letter, or a copy of it signed by public notary, we command Prince John, our most dearly beloved son, the infant Duke, prelates, marquises, great masters of military orders, priors, commissaries, arch-councillors, judges, and other officers of justice whatsoever belonging to our household, courts, and chancery, and constables of castles, strong houses, and others of all corporations, bailiffs, governors, judges, commanders, sea officers, and the aldermen, common council, officers, and good people of all cities, lands, and places in our kingdom and domains, and those you shall conquer and subdue, and the captains, masters, mates, and other officers and sailors, and natural subjects now being of them, that when you shall have discovered the said island and continent in the ocean, and you, or any that shall have your commission, shall have taken the usual oath in such cases, that they for the future look upon you as long as you live, and after you your son and heir, and so from one heir to another forever, as our admiral, on our said ocean, as a viceroy and governor of the said islands and continent, by you, Christopher Columbus, discovered and conquered, and that they treat you and your lieutenants by your appointment for executing the employments of admiral, viceroy, and governor as such in all respects, and give you all the prerequisites and other things belonging and appertaining to the said offices, and allow and cause to be allowed you all the honors, graces, concessions, preeminence, prerogatives, immunities, and other things, or any of them which are due to you, by virtue of your commands of admiral, viceroy, and governor, and to be observed completely, so that nothing be diminished, and that they make no objection to this or any part of it, nor suffer it to be made. Forasmuch as we from this time forward by this our letter bestow on you the employments of admiral, viceroy, and perpetual governor forever, and we put you into possession of the said offices, and of every one of them, and full power to use and exercise them, and to receive the prerequisites and salaries belonging to them, or any of them, as was said above, concerning all which things, if to be requisite, and you shall desire it, we command our counselor, notaries, and other officials to pass, seal, and deliver to you our letter of privilege in such form and legal manner as you shall require or stand in need of, and that none of them presume to do anything to the contrary, for pain of our displeasure, and forfeiture of 30 ducats for each offense. And we command him, and shall show them this letter, that he summon them to appear before us at our court, where we shall then be within 15 days after such summons, under the said penalty, under which same we also command any public notary whatsoever, that he give to him that show it him a certificate under his seal, that we may know how our command is obeyed. Given at Granada, on the 30th of April, in the year of our Lord, 1492. I the King, I the Queen. Thank you for joining us for today's primary source on the appendix. See you in the stacks.